All right. So, how's it going, everybody? My name's Fred Vo, uh, and my project is going to be answering the question, what is the best homes to purchase in the Houston area? So, a little background on myself. My name is Freddie. I was a mechanic for the U.S. Army, and I finished my bachelor's degree in marketing around 2021. After fully transitioning into the civilian world, I became a realtor and an insurance agent for the state of Texas. So, my capstone presentation is centered around the Houston real estate market and answering questions for first time homebuyers. So, what made me want to base my project on real estate was because I have insider knowledge in having the MLS access and just to see the whole market values for all the homes within Houston. Uh, and now I can use those data sets and then comprise all this. So, halfway into the cohort, I was fortunate enough to get assigned the role of Team One's product owner. I was able to start team meetings, which initially started around 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we would typically discuss our current roadblocks for our projects and assignments, and then also talking about career goals. I worked closely with our Scrum Master to annotate down any of our issues via the Jira board and find any resolutions to any of our team members' problems or their questions. We integrated a agile growth mindset, which is basically the ability to make our team to continue to learn, embrace change, collecting our feedbacks and giving more improvements to them, and just collaborating our newfound knowledge together. So, let's get into it. So, the first question is going to be what is the best home for the first time home buyers in Houston area? And this broad question covers the affordability, safety, and school zones within 2023. This is our mural board, which we just annotated down what our questions are going to be, who the audience is going to be talking to, everything here that you see. So, when you're asking yourself what's the best place or best location, I'm narrowing it down by zip code within Houston, of course. But there are several factors that we're going to have to look at. So that's going to be the market value, the crime rate, and how well the schools are, right? So the data sets that I grabbed will be introduced at the end of my presentation here. So again, I am a licensed realtor. I want to see if there's a lot of crime in the area, and since I have the MLS access, I can see the market rate. But let's go ahead into the coding section. So, my first issue when I was working with Python was just listing out all the zip codes and the homes by the zip codes, and I had a problem with my variable being a string function. I had to change it into an integer. What that means is like I had to remove all the symbols and commas and basically leave a space or remove the space. So as you see here, uh, that is what I did. I created it by zip codes, and then I found out how many homes were sold within 2023. Afterwards, I removed the symbol, the dollar sign symbol, and then removed the comma. As you see here, and then with the number of homes that was listed, I also added in now the total list price, or I would say the average list price of all the homes sold. So now let's go into the schools. So for my Python issue, there were errors importing the school data into SQL, and that was due to a new line error. Right here, you find that I have created a resolution to my problem, and I used an iLock function, string replace the new line into a space. So then I was able to import this data set into SQL, and boom. Now we get into the crime rate. So right here you see that I imported all my crime data sets. I just removed all the null values, which are basically values that were empty in a sense. And then I grouped everything like I did with the zip codes for the school ratings, and the market values. I did the same thing with the number of offenses that happened. So as you see here in my SQL coding, I did what you see here as an outer left join. I created a code where anything that was rated at a particular number, finding the average of each school, for an example, I would then give it a letter grade. So, for an example, anything between 90 to 100, that's an A, and then anything 60 and below was an F. And then, as you see here, I joined the MLS school table, the MLS table, the school tables, and then the school ratings, and then combine the school ratings with the actual schools itself. So, and then also added in the crime rate. Now let's get into the fun part. The fun part now that we can see here is that I imported everything into Tableau. This is all user interactive friendly source that you can use. You can play around with it. Right here, I only targeted in the Houston area. You can always click it and just find out other ways to just play around and see if like you want something in outside of Houston, for an example. But as you can see here, there's the average line of all the homes that we have here. And say your budget is less than 400,000, all you have to do is just drag it from here. So let's see here. So say you want to just find anything less than 400,000. Easily simple. You can just click it, drag it, and you can also see the average sold price, the price per square foot, how much the square foot sold, all within the Houston area. So you can see here, the map changes all following along on what you're selecting. Now, similar concept, I made it for crime rates. So the total amount of crime rates that happen within Houston is about 2,055 offenses. Say you're trying to look for a place that's much lower in offenses, like say right here, you can see some that are in between 3 to about 1,000 in these particular zip codes. And boom. Now let's get into the school zones. So I labeled by each zip code, adding up all the number of schools and then finding the average grade for each school. So as you can see here, 77003 has about 44 schools, and they are top rated A class right here, and right almost dead center into the heart of Houston. So you can go around and play with this as well. You can adjust the numbers here with the filter. Say you want to look at something like 85% or more, you're more than welcome to do so. And here's the last portion. This portion covers everything that we talked about. This, depending on what you need in particular, like say you want, schools that at least a B or higher, and you just want maybe little to no offenses, right? So as you can see here, it narrows it down a little bit more, and say your pricing, you just want under 400,000. You can see here that 77373 is probably the best rated, one of the top 10 zip codes that you could purchase a home. There's lower amount of offenses. There are is priced at the average rate that we looked at previously, about 300, a little under average, and you can also see the gradings of the schools and just the amount of crime rate. So here's my project overview. So my analysis provides insights into complex decision making to process the purchase of your first home. So there's plenty of factors that should be analyzed so you could decide on what you particularly would need. So that would be how big your family is. Are you single? Are you married? Do you have children, cats, dogs? You want to look at, how big of a home would you need? I label down at least the average for the square foot is about 2,000 or more. And also there's the pricing consideration, how much you would need to put down for a down payment, for an example, or how much you're willing to pay for a home. As you can see from previously, like, again, our average is about 390,000 for a home in Houston. So the crime rates in the area, you want to look at, how much crime happens, and then you also want to see how the quality of schools are for your children, how safe it is going to be for your kids, and if they're actually going to learn something. But my visualization highlights a comprehensive overview of the entirety of the Houston area, and it can go a little bit and beyond that if you were to select more cities out of the scope of Houston. To access, and this also gives you key access data points to influence your home buying decisions. So, yeah, all in all, just feel free to download the visualization and you can play around with it yourself, and you can identify your personal preference within my data sets here. Along here, like I mentioned previously, here are the resources that I took. The only thing that is going to be different for you compared to me is that I am a realtor and a member for the Houston area for realtors. But these are open sources here for the crimes, and this is where I pulled for the school areas. But other than that, I want to give a great thanks to everybody in my team, Team 1 in Savvy Coders, and also to the TAs, everybody that has helped me and helped me pull through this cohort and just enjoying my time learning about being a data analyst. And I hope that I get more projects down the line in the future. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a great rest of your day.